Pulse with modulation, take 3. Hi everyone, remember we mentioned pulse width modulation in the last video and I said that's for another video. Well, this is that video, hopefully it's a quick one. Abbreviated to PWM, pulse width modulation. Don't confuse it with PWD, that's pulse width detonation. Look it up, it's really exciting, but it's a little bit dangerous. You can't do it indoors. Well, yeah, could, but I'd rather not. Remember the sine wave. So here's your 0 volt point, and your sine wave goes up, it comes back down, it goes negative, and then it pops back up. And it keeps doing that forever. And in the UK, on our mains, it does one of these every 50 times a second, which means it's passing through 0 100 times a second. Now, if we go square wave, 0, we can change the shape of that waveform and make it square, so it doesn't have this gentle rise. And we get a shape like that. We can then, still 0 volt, rectify that. And just in the same way that full wave rectified AC goes like that, this then generates something that's kind of, you know, that shape. You know, each time you see a vertical line, this dips to 0 momentarily and comes back up to its full. Easy. There we go. Pulse width, modulate it, so do it a bit bigger. He says, right. We can talk about a duty cycle. That's between off and off. And if we trigger this at, say, roughly 25%, we can turn it on for that bit, and it's off for that bit, and it's on for that bit, but off for that. We're right off in it. I'm going to write off in it. Off. And so on. And if that's, we'll call that T. For time, that's the time that the cycle is on for each wave. And this is 25%. I'll put 20% or 25%, doesn't matter. We call that a 25% duty cycle. It means it's on for 25% of the time of the wave. That's a pulse of 25% of the wave width, wave time. Now these waves can be incredibly short, like, you know, 16,000 hertz, 16 kilohertz, so much higher frequency than our AC off the mains, which means that we don't actually notice the flicker if we pulse an LED like that. The average, of course, over a long time, over sort of that length of time, is only 25%. So although the power, say, is on for 1 second, the waves running, you know, we run it for 1 second, we've actually only got the power on for 25% of that. A quarter of a second. And that's the average over that whole time, although it's not all bunched up at one end and then off, because that would show flicker. Because of the high frequency, it doesn't. That's how we dim LEDs. We also use it with DC motor control and lots of other fun things that are certainly going to turn up, I suspect, as we continue our journey with Arduino. So your homework, if you're a mad, noisy thug like me, is to look up pulse width detonation. Anyone who's slightly more normal might want to spend more time looking at pulse width modulation and getting more into the maths behind it and how it works and what else we can use it for. That was short, wasn't it? We'll see you again soon.